Hello, and welcome to today's episode of our podcast, where we explore life, learning, and everything in between. I'm Adam, and today we're diving into a topic that's nostalgic for some and thought-provoking for others: school life versus college life.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, and I think this is something we can all relate to. Whether you're currently in school, in college, or looking back at those memories, there's so much to unpack about these two distinct phases of life.
Absolutely, Sophia. School life is often defined by structure, routines, and the comfort of a familiar environment, while college life is about freedom, self-discovery, and taking on new challenges.
In this episode, we'll compare the two, covering everything from daily routines and academics to social life, financial responsibility, and emotional growth.
And of course, we'll share some personal insights along the way. So sit back, relax, and let's take a trip down memory lane as we explore the worlds of school and college.
Let's get started.
Let's start by breaking down the most noticeable difference between school life and college life, the daily routine. They're worlds apart, aren't they, Sophia?
Absolutely, Adam. In school, the day is very structured. Most schools start early in the morning, often around 8 a.m., and students follow a fixed timetable. Every day has the same rhythm: morning assemblies, a series of classes that usually last about 40 to 50 minutes each, a lunch break, and then more classes until school ends in the afternoon.
Exactly. And this structure ensures students have a balance between different subjects: math, science, languages, and so on. It's designed to keep everything predictable and organized, which can be comforting for students.
Yes, but it's also restrictive. For instance, there's little room to decide how to spend your day. After school, most students head home, complete their homework, and maybe squeeze in some extracurricular activities or tutoring. It's a full day that leaves little flexibility for personal choice.
Now compare that to college life. It's a whole different world. College schedules are far more flexible. You typically build your own timetable, choosing which classes to take and when to take them.
That's right. Some students might have classes starting early in the morning, while others may not start until the afternoon. On certain days, you might only have 1 or 2 classes, and on others, you could have a packed schedule. It really depends on the courses you select and how you organize your time.
And the time in between classes can feel like a double-edged sword. You could use it to study, work on assignments, join a club, or even just relax with friends. But at the same time, it's easy to lose track of time and procrastinate.
That's so true. The freedom in college can be both a blessing and a challenge. Unlike school, where teachers and parents constantly remind you about deadlines, in college, it's entirely up to you to stay on top of your responsibilities.
And let's not forget the impact of commuting or living on campus. In school, most students live close to their school, but in college, you might be living in a dorm or commuting from farther away. That adds another layer of complexity to managing your daily routine.
Exactly. Living on campus can save you time, but it also comes with distractions: friends dropping by, late-night chats, and so on. Meanwhile, commuting can be tiring and eat into your free time.
So, Sophia, if you had to choose, which do you prefer, the predictable structure of school life or the flexible but sometimes chaotic routine of college?
That's a tough one. I think it depends on the person. Some people thrive in the structured environment of school, where everything is laid out for them. Others enjoy the freedom of college, where they can design their own day and explore new opportunities.
That's a great point. Both routines have their pros and cons, and it's all about finding what works best for you. Coming up next, let's dive into another key difference: teacher-student relationships and how they change between school and college. Now that we've talked about daily routines, let's move on to another significant difference between school and college: teacher-student relationships. This is one area where the transition can feel pretty dramatic.
Absolutely, Adam. In school, teachers play a very active role in students' lives. They're not just educators, but also guides, mentors, and sometimes even disciplinarians. They make sure students complete their assignments, monitor their behavior, and often provide moral or emotional support.
Exactly. Teachers in school are often seen as authority figures. They know all their students by name, keep track of their progress, and sometimes even reach out to parents if there's an issue. It's a very personal and nurturing relationship.
Yes, and because of that, students can feel a sense of comfort and trust with their teachers. There's always someone to remind you about deadlines, check on your attendance, or help if you're falling behind.
Now let's compare that to college, where the relationship is much more professional and independent. Professors are there to teach and guide, but they don't usually keep track of every student's progress or behavior.
That's right. In college, professors treat you like an adult. They expect you to take responsibility for attending classes, submitting assignments, and preparing for exams. If you don't, it's on you. They won't chase after you like school teachers might.
And since classes are often larger in college, professors might not know every student personally. You have to make the effort to approach them if you have questions or need extra help.
Yes, but that also opens up opportunities for a different kind of relationship. In college, if you take the initiative, you can build strong professional connections with your professors. They can become mentors, offer career advice, or even write recommendations for you.
That's a great point, Sophia. Professors also encourage critical thinking and independent learning, which can be very empowering but also challenging if you're used to the more hands-on approach of school.
Definitely. It's also worth mentioning that the feedback style changes. In school, teachers might give you detailed feedback and even second chances to improve. In college, feedback is often brief, and it's up to you to figure out how to improve.
So, would you say school teachers are more nurturing, while college professors push you to be self-reliant?
Exactly. School is like a safety net where teachers are there to catch you if you fall. College is more like a trampoline. You're expected to bounce back on your own, but the professors are there if you make the effort to connect with them.
That's a great analogy. Coming up next, let's talk about another critical difference: academic expectations and how they shift as you move from school to college. Now, let's dive into another major shift: academic expectations. This is where many students feel the difference most when they transition from school to college.
Absolutely, Adam. In school, the focus is often on foundational knowledge. Teachers guide you through basic concepts, and the expectations are set at a level where most students can keep up with the material. You follow a structured curriculum, and your success is measured through regular tests, quizzes, and assignments.
That's true. In school, the exams and assignments are designed to test your understanding of the material, but they're also structured to make sure you can succeed if you pay attention and do the work. There's more of an emphasis on memorization and learning the basics.
Exactly. Teachers provide you with plenty of support, whether through review sessions, extra help, or clear guidelines on what to study. It's a more guided, step-by-step approach to learning.
Now, in college, things change significantly. The expectations are much higher. The focus shifts from memorization to critical thinking, independent research, and applying knowledge in more complex ways.
Right. Professors expect you to not only understand the material, but also to challenge it, analyze it, and form your own opinions. There's a greater emphasis on problem-solving and deep comprehension. In college, your assignments might require research papers, case studies, or projects that demand more time and effort than a typical school essay.
And let's not forget the amount of reading. In college, you might have several textbooks to read each week, along with academic articles and other resources. It's a lot of content to cover on your own.
Exactly. And the workload can be overwhelming if you're not used to managing it. In school, your teachers often provide you with a clear outline of what to study, while in college, professors expect you to identify key concepts and manage your time efficiently.
That's a great point. The pace of learning in college can be much faster. You might only have 1 or 2 exams in a semester, but those exams are comprehensive and carry a lot of weight.
Absolutely. And there's often less direct oversight. In school, teachers are always reminding you about assignments or upcoming tests. In college, you're expected to keep track of your deadlines and take responsibility for staying on top of your work.
And if you fall behind? Well, the consequences are more serious in college. Unlike in school, where you might get a second chance or extra help, college professors typically don't offer that kind of leniency.
That's right. In some ways, it's sink or swim. College is about developing self-discipline and learning to manage your academic responsibilities without constant reminders.
So, in school, academic expectations are more about ensuring basic competency in the subjects, while in college, it's about mastering concepts and pushing yourself to apply what you've learned in new, more challenging ways.
Exactly. It's a big leap, and it takes time to adjust. But once you get the hang of it, college learning can be really rewarding. You're no longer just absorbing information, you're engaging with it and learning how to use it in real-world situations.
Now let's switch gears and talk about something everyone loves to discuss: social life. The way we socialize changes drastically from school to college, doesn't it?
Absolutely, Adam. In school, social life tends to be pretty structured. You see the same group of people every day, whether it's classmates in your grade or friends you've known since childhood. Your social circles are often based on geography, as you're usually with the same group of students throughout the school year.
Right. The classroom, the cafeteria, and extracurricular activities like sports or clubs are the main places where you interact with your friends. And while you might have different social groups, they're typically all within the same school environment. It's a smaller, more familiar world.
That's true. In school, social life is often centered around common activities and shared experiences. Everyone goes through the same classes, the same assignments, and the same events. Your friendships tend to be based on proximity and shared schedules.
Now, in college, social life becomes a lot more dynamic. For one, the sheer diversity of people you meet is incredible. You're exposed to students from different cities, countries, and backgrounds, each with their own unique experiences and perspectives.
Exactly. College gives you the freedom to meet people who share your specific interests and passions, whether it's in your major, a campus club, or an off-campus event. The social scene is much more varied, and you can find your tribe in a way that's often impossible in school.
That's true. And let's not forget the variety of events and activities in college. There are social gatherings, parties, lectures, performances, and more. If you're someone who loves to network or try new things, college is the place to be.
Yes, you might find yourself attending a lecture on a topic you've never heard of, joining a club that aligns with a new hobby, or going to a networking event for your future career. There's something for everyone, and you're encouraged to explore.
But with all this freedom comes a challenge: balancing social life with academic life. In school, your schedule is more rigid, and there's less room for distractions. In college, you're managing your own time, and it's easy to get caught up in social activities instead of studying.
That's a great point, Adam. College social life can be overwhelming at first because it's so different from the more controlled environment of school. There's always something going on, and it can be hard to say no when friends invite you out or when a fun event is happening on campus.
And that brings up a key skill: time management. College students have to figure out how to juggle socializing, studying, and self-care, and it's not always easy.
Exactly. Unlike in school, where your social interactions were pretty much built into your schedule, in college, you have to actively decide how to spend your time. The responsibility is on you to strike a balance.
So, while school social life is more about consistency and familiarity, college social life is about exploring new opportunities and meeting a broader range of people. It's definitely a more exciting and diverse experience, but it can also be a lot to navigate.
Exactly. And while college gives you the chance to explore more socially, it also teaches you how to manage your time and prioritize the relationships and experiences that matter most.
Now let's dive into one of the most important aspects of college life: financial responsibility. This is a big change from school, where most students don't have to worry much about managing money.
That's right, Adam. In school, the financial burden is mostly on the parents or guardians. You don't have to think about things like rent, groceries, or tuition. Your biggest financial concern might be saving up for a new phone or a weekend trip with friends.
Exactly. School is a relatively low-stakes environment when it comes to money. The biggest expenses usually come from things like lunch, school supplies, or the occasional extracurricular fee. But for the most part, students don't have to worry about a budget.
Now, once you hit college, it's a whole new ballgame. If you're living away from home, you suddenly have rent, utilities, food, and maybe even a car or transportation costs to manage. And don't forget about tuition fees, which can be a huge financial commitment.
That's a major shift. And college students often have to figure out how to manage all these expenses while balancing schoolwork and social life. For many, it's the first time they need to be truly independent when it comes to finances.
Exactly. And it's not just about paying for things, it's also about learning how to budget effectively. College students have to prioritize spending, whether it's deciding between buying books, going out with friends, or saving for future expenses. It can be overwhelming.
It definitely can be, and many students get part-time jobs or internships to help cover their expenses. Working while studying is quite common in college, but it adds another layer of responsibility. Suddenly, you have to manage not just academics and social life, but also work hours and personal finances.
That's right. And even if you don't have a job, college often comes with financial aid, scholarships, or student loans that require careful management. You might have to deal with student debt, credit cards, and figuring out how to make ends meet on a tight budget.
And managing money in college isn't just about paying bills. It's about learning to make smarter financial decisions, like choosing cheaper textbooks, cooking meals at home instead of eating out, or finding ways to save on transportation.
Exactly. And this is where the shift from school to college is most noticeable. In school, you might get allowance money or have parents pay for things, but in college, you're the one who has to figure it all out. It teaches you responsibility, financial literacy, and independence.
So, school life is more about being provided for, while college life requires you to take charge of your financial well-being. It's definitely a learning curve, but it's also one of the most valuable skills you'll gain in college.
Absolutely. And while it can be stressful at first, the financial lessons learned in college are ones that will serve you for the rest of your life. Managing money isn't easy, but it's a crucial skill to master.
Now, let's explore another exciting part of both school and college: extracurricular activities. While both environments offer plenty of opportunities outside of the classroom, the nature and scope of these activities can be quite different.
That's right, Adam. In school, extracurricular activities tend to be more structured. Schools often offer a set range of clubs, sports teams, and activities, and students usually choose based on what's available or what their friends are interested in. Whether it's soccer, drama, student government, or a music club, students have their pick, but the options are often fairly limited to what the school can provide.
Exactly. And these activities are a big part of the school experience. They help students develop teamwork, leadership skills, and creativity. They also serve as a way to balance academics with fun and social interaction. But in school, extracurriculars often feel like they're an extension of the school day, part of the overall structure.
Yes, and the level of commitment is often more manageable. You might practice once or twice a week, or meet after school for an hour or so. It's a good way to stay involved without taking up too much time.
Now, in college, the world of extracurricular activities is much more vast and diverse. You're not just limited to what the school offers. You can join clubs, start your own organization, attend conferences, and even get involved in community service. The choices seem endless.
Exactly. College extracurriculars can align with your personal passions or career goals. For example, if you're studying business, you might join a business club, a finance group, or even a startup incubator. If you're into social activism, there could be advocacy groups or environmental organizations to join. The opportunities are truly tailored to your interests and aspirations.
And let's not forget about the level of commitment in college. Many students take extracurriculars to the next level, running for leadership positions, volunteering in the community, or even taking on internships that count as extracurricular experiences. College gives you the chance to pursue your passions more seriously and adds a whole new dimension to your resume.
That's a great point. And the beauty of it is, you're encouraged to take initiative. In school, it's often the teachers or school staff who organize and lead extracurriculars. In college, you're empowered to start something new, recruit others, and make your mark.
Exactly. And college extracurriculars also tend to offer more networking opportunities. Whether you're meeting professors, attending events, or collaborating with people in your field of interest, these activities open doors to professional connections that could impact your career.
And, of course, there's also a social aspect. College provides opportunities to meet people outside of your class schedule and form friendships based on shared interests. Whether it's joining a sports team, a book club, or a student organization, extracurricular activities allow you to connect with others who share your passions.
So, while school extracurriculars are important for building skills and staying active, college really opens the door to a wider array of experiences and opportunities, both personally and professionally. It's a chance to explore deeper interests, develop new talents, and build a network that can support you long after graduation.
Exactly. And the best part is that college gives you the freedom to balance academics with the extracurriculars that truly inspire you. Whether it's for fun, growth, or career building, these activities become an important part of the overall college experience.
Now let's talk about something that everyone feels when they transition from school to college: independence and freedom. This is perhaps the most exciting part of moving on to college life, but it can also be a bit overwhelming.
Absolutely, Adam. In school, there's always a certain level of structure and guidance. You have a set schedule, teachers who remind you about assignments and rules to follow. Your parents or guardians are heavily involved in your daily life, whether it's making sure you get up on time, helping with homework, or making decisions about your future.
That's right. There's a lot of oversight in school. You're still very much in the growing up stage, and a lot of decisions are made for you. For example, where you go to school, what you study, and how you spend your time are often determined by others.
But when you get to college, things change. The level of freedom is unlike anything you've experienced before. You're suddenly responsible for everything, from deciding when to wake up and what to eat, to managing your own time, finances, and studies.
And that freedom is amazing, right? You get to decide what courses you take, how you spend your free time, and even whether or not you want to attend a class. But with that freedom comes a lot of responsibility.
Exactly. You don't have someone constantly reminding you about deadlines or keeping track of your daily routine. If you forget to study or miss an assignment, it's your problem, not anyone else's. College demands a higher level of self-discipline because there's no one there to micromanage your life.
That's where independence really kicks in. College teaches you how to prioritize tasks, manage your time effectively, and take care of your personal responsibilities. You have the chance to make mistakes, learn from them, and grow into a more self-sufficient person.
Right. And this independence isn't just about managing time. It also applies to life decisions. You'll have to navigate things like budgeting, cooking, and even making important decisions about your future career. You might not have your parents to turn to every time you need advice, and that's a big shift from school life, where guidance is always just a phone call away.
And for some students, it's the first time they experience true freedom. The ability to decide when to go out, how to spend your weekends, or whether to study late into the night or take a break is exhilarating. But, as you mentioned, Sophia, it also comes with the pressure to make responsible choices.
Yes. And it's not just about the practical side of independence. College also gives you the freedom to explore who you really are, what you believe in, and what you want out of life. You're exposed to new ideas, diverse people, and different perspectives that challenge the way you think. This kind of personal freedom is an essential part of emotional growth during college.
That's a great point, Sophia. College gives you the opportunity to step outside the familiar and dive into a world of self-discovery. Whether it's meeting people from different cultures, exploring new hobbies, or figuring out your own values and goals, the freedom you have in college is about more than just schedules or classes. It's about shaping your future self.
Exactly. And this freedom comes with both ups and downs. Sometimes it can be difficult, especially when you're figuring things out for the first time. But that's part of the process. College is about learning to balance freedom with responsibility and finding out what works best for you.
So, while school life gives you a lot of structure and guidance, college life offers something different: the opportunity to be your own person. It's about taking charge of your life, making your own decisions, and learning from both your successes and mistakes.
It's definitely a huge transition, but one that ultimately leads to growth. The independence and freedom you gain in college shape you into a more capable, confident individual who is ready to take on the world.
All right, let's dive into another important skill that becomes crucial in college: time management. This is something that can really make or break your college experience, wouldn't you say, Sophia?
Definitely, Adam. In school, time management is a bit more straightforward. You have a set schedule, classes every day, and a clear routine to follow. You don't have to think too much about when you're going to do your homework or study for exams because it's more or less built into your day.
Exactly. In school, it's easy to get into a rhythm because your day is structured. You know when your classes are, when you'll have breaks, and when you need to do your assignments. It's almost like a roadmap.
But when you get to college, that all changes. Suddenly, you're responsible for your own schedule. You may have classes scattered throughout the week at different times, or maybe your class schedule changes every semester. There's no bell ringing to tell you when it's time to study, eat, or go to sleep. It's all on you to manage.
That's a huge shift. College students often find themselves juggling classes, study time, work, extracurriculars, and social events. It's easy to get overwhelmed if you don't stay organized. The freedom is amazing, but it also comes with the responsibility of making sure things get done.
Exactly. In school, you might have a teacher reminding you about deadlines or assignments, but in college, professors expect you to keep track of your work on your own. No one will chase you down if you miss a deadline. That's why time management becomes essential.
Right. And it's not just about getting your assignments done on time. College students need to plan out how they're going to balance everything in their lives: academic work, personal time, and social activities. If you don't make a plan, it's easy to fall behind.
And that's where tools like calendars, planners, and apps come in. Staying organized is key. Whether it's scheduling study time, setting reminders for assignments, or blocking off time for self-care, having a system can help you stay on top of everything.
Yes. A big mistake a lot of students make is thinking they'll remember everything. But once the semester picks up, it's easy to forget small details like an assignment or meeting. That's why creating a routine and sticking to it is so important. It helps you stay consistent, and it makes sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Another thing is learning to prioritize. In college, you might have several big assignments or exams coming up at the same time. You need to decide what needs your attention most urgently. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart.
Right. And sometimes that means saying no to certain social events or putting off some personal activities in order to meet deadlines. It's all about finding a balance that works for you and knowing when to focus and when to take breaks.
And here's a tip. Don't forget about self-care when managing your time. It can be easy to get caught up in a busy schedule and forget to make time for relaxation or sleep. But taking care of your mental and physical health will actually make you more productive in the long run.
Absolutely. Time management isn't just about fitting everything into your schedule. It's also about making sure you have time to recharge. You can't perform well academically if you're burnt out.
So true. And while college life can feel overwhelming at times, mastering time management can make all the difference. It's a skill you'll carry with you throughout your entire life. Whether in college, your career, or personal life, being able to manage your time effectively is a game changer.
Now, let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed, but is incredibly important: emotional and psychological growth. Both school and college contribute to shaping us emotionally and mentally. But the experiences in each phase are very different, aren't they, Sophia?
Absolutely, Adam. In school, your emotional and psychological growth is often supported by teachers, parents, and friends. You're still figuring out who you are, how to deal with emotions, and how to navigate social situations. The environment is more controlled, and there's more support in place to help guide you through those challenges.
Right. In school, emotional growth is often about learning the basics of how to communicate, make friends, and understand your emotions in a safe and structured environment. Teachers are there to guide you, and your parents are often the primary support system, helping you work through emotional challenges.
Exactly. And school life tends to revolve around familiar routines and smaller problems. Things like friendship conflicts, school stress, or figuring out how to fit in. But when you get to college, the stakes get higher. And so does the emotional growth.
That's because college throws you into a world where you have to figure out a lot more on your own. You're living away from home, managing your own time, and making decisions that could impact your future. That kind of responsibility can feel overwhelming at times, but it's also an incredible opportunity for personal growth.
That's so true. College forces you to step out of your comfort zone. For the first time, you may be living away from your family, making decisions independently, and facing challenges that you can't easily solve with the help of your usual support system. This can trigger a lot of emotional growth even if it feels difficult.
Right. For many students, college can bring a range of emotions: freedom, excitement, anxiety, loneliness, and sometimes even doubt. You might feel isolated at times, especially if you're away from family and friends for the first time. But those emotions are part of the process. They help you build resilience and learn how to cope with life's challenges.
Exactly. College is a time of self-discovery. You'll meet people who think differently, have different values, and come from different backgrounds. Navigating these new relationships can help you develop empathy, communication skills, and a deeper understanding of yourself and others.
And don't forget about the emotional toll that comes with academic stress. The pressure of exams, papers, and deadlines can cause anxiety or frustration. In school, you might be used to teachers giving you constant feedback and support, but in college, professors expect you to manage your workload on your own, and that can be challenging.
It really can. But overcoming these academic challenges, whether it's managing stress, learning to ask for help when needed, or pushing through difficult moments, can build emotional strength. It teaches you how to cope with pressure and navigate the ups and downs of life.
And it's not just about coping with academic stress. College also teaches you about emotional balance in other areas, like friendships, relationships, and even dealing with failure. You might face rejection, whether it's from a club you wanted to join, a job you didn't get, or a relationship that doesn't work out. These experiences, as tough as they are, help you develop emotional maturity and resilience.
Exactly. In school, emotional growth often happens in a more supportive environment where you have a safety net. In college, that net starts to shrink, and you learn how to handle things on your own. That's not always easy, but it's how you learn to trust yourself and develop the emotional tools you need for the future.
It's about learning to become comfortable with uncertainty and the challenges life throws your way. College helps you build the emotional and psychological resilience to deal with those challenges, which will stay with you long after graduation.
And let's not forget that seeking help is an important part of emotional growth, whether it's talking to a counselor, reaching out to friends, or asking professors for guidance. The stigma around mental health is slowly fading, And more students are learning that it's okay to ask for help when you need it.
Absolutely. Emotional growth in college isn't about doing everything on your own. It's about learning when to lean on others for support and recognizing that taking care of your mental health is just as important as managing your grades.
Exactly. So while school and college offer very different environments for emotional and psychological growth, they both play crucial roles in shaping who we are. School gives us the foundation, while college challenges us to push beyond our limits and grow into more resilient, self-aware individuals.
Now let's move on to a topic that's on the minds of many students: career preparation. This is something that takes on a whole new level of importance in college, but the foundation for it often starts in school.
That's right, Adam. In school, the focus is primarily on learning the basics: reading, writing, math, science, things that will help you understand the world around you. You also start developing important skills like problem solving, critical thinking, and communication. But the focus isn't really on preparing for a specific career.
Exactly. School provides you with the core knowledge you need, but it's in college that you really start to think about how to apply that knowledge to your future career. When you get to college, the question shifts from "what do I need to know?" to "how do I turn what I'm learning into a career?"
Yes, and that's one of the biggest transitions from school to college. In school, you might have a general idea of what careers you could pursue, but college forces you to get more specific. You choose a major, start building expertise in a certain field, and think about internships, networking, and other ways to get your foot in the door for future employment.
And let's not forget about the importance of internships. In college, internships are often a key part of career preparation. They give you the chance to gain hands-on experience, build your professional network, and learn skills that aren't always taught in the classroom. It's one thing to learn theory, but applying it in a real-world setting is a whole different ballgame.
Right. Internships are like a bridge between the academic world and the professional world. They help you understand what a job in your chosen field will actually look like, and they give employers a chance to see how you perform in a professional environment. In college, there's a lot more focus on getting that real-world experience while you're still learning.
Absolutely. And along with internships, you also have to start thinking about your resume and how to market yourself. In school, resumes might not even be on your radar, but in college, they become crucial. Employers want to see what you've done outside of the classroom, whether it's work experience, extracurricular activities, or leadership roles. All of these things can help set you apart from other candidates.
And college gives you more resources to help with this. Most universities offer career services, resume workshops, and job fairs to help you refine your resume and prepare for interviews. You're also surrounded by a network of professors, alumni, and other students who can guide you and help you make professional connections.
That's a great point. College is the perfect time to start building your professional network. Whether through professors, classmates, or events, the people you meet in college can help you in your career long after graduation. And networking is often one of the most important tools for job hunting.
Exactly. And in college, you also have more freedom to explore different career paths. You might take elective courses or attend career-related events that expose you to new industries or professions you hadn't considered before. This gives you the chance to really refine your career goals and choose a path that's right for you.
That's one of the key differences between school and college. In school, you might not have as much flexibility to explore different fields, but in college, you're encouraged to experiment and figure out what fits you best. College gives you the opportunity to follow your passions while also developing the skills that are necessary for a specific career.
And while school might focus more on basic knowledge and soft skills, college puts a stronger emphasis on the specific skills needed for your chosen career. Whether it's coding for a tech career, writing for journalism, or lab work for science, you're not just learning the theory, you're learning how to apply it.
That's a great point, Sophia. Career preparation in college is about taking those first steps toward your professional future, while school helps lay the foundation. College allows you to start thinking long-term, with internships, networking, and real-world experience all coming together to prepare you for the job market.
Exactly. So, while school gives you the basics, college is where you really start building your career. You develop expertise in a field, gain practical experience, and learn how to present yourself to potential employers. It's all about preparing you for life after graduation.
Well said, Sophia. And that wraps up our discussion on career preparation. Whether you're in school or college, there's always something to be learned that will help you move closer to your future goals. Now let's talk about a topic that many students face at every stage of their education: expectations and pressure. Whether you're in school or college, there's always some level of pressure to succeed. But the source and nature of that pressure can be very different, right, Sophia?
Absolutely, Adam. In school, the pressure tends to come from external sources: teachers, parents, peers, all wanting you to do well. You're constantly assessed, whether it's through grades, standardized tests, or assignments. And there's often a strong emphasis on performing well in every area, from academics to extracurricular activities.
Right. In school, there's this constant push to get the best grades, to be the best in every subject, and to keep up with everyone else. A lot of the pressure comes from trying to meet the expectations set by your teachers and parents. And while it can be motivating for some, it can also feel overwhelming, especially when you're still figuring out who you are and what you're good at.
Exactly. And I think in school there's often an assumption that success in academics directly leads to success in life. That can create a lot of pressure, especially if you're struggling in certain subjects or don't feel like you're meeting those expectations. It's a time when students are still developing their identities and may feel the weight of those outside pressures.
And then, when you transition to college, the pressure shifts in some ways, but it's still very much present. College is often seen as the path to your future career, and that can feel like a huge weight on your shoulders. The expectations are now set by you, your goals, your plans, and your dreams for your future. But you're also dealing with the pressure to perform in a more independent way, without as much guidance as you had in school.
Exactly. In college, you're expected to take full responsibility for your studies and your life in general. It's not just about attending class and doing assignments anymore. There's a bigger picture to consider: internships, networking, job opportunities, and post-graduation plans. The pressure to perform well in all areas of life can feel like a heavy burden, and for many students, the stakes feel much higher.
That's a great point. And in college, the pressure to succeed isn't just about grades. You're also dealing with the pressure to balance academics with social life, work, internships, and maintaining your mental health. It's no longer about meeting the expectations of others. It's about managing your own ambitions and figuring out how to meet your own goals.
Yes, and the pressure to constantly be achieving can sometimes lead to burnout. In college, students often feel like they need to do everything: get perfect grades, join clubs, make connections, and have a thriving social life. But trying to do it all can lead to exhaustion, stress, and a sense of inadequacy if you can't keep up.
And let's not forget about the financial pressure. College can be expensive, and many students feel the weight of paying for tuition, books, and living expenses. Some students have part-time jobs to help with costs, while others are relying on scholarships or loans. The financial burden can add to the stress and create a sense of pressure to succeed, especially if there's a lot riding on your academic performance.
Absolutely. The financial aspect of college is something that really differentiates it from school life. You're not just worried about doing well academically, but also about managing your budget, handling loans, and securing your future. The pressure to graduate with a good job and avoid debt can feel overwhelming, especially when you see peers with internships or job offers already lined up.
Yeah, and I think in both school and college, the pressure to meet expectations can sometimes make you lose sight of your personal goals and well-being. It's easy to get caught up in the race to meet everyone else's expectations, but it's important to remember that your journey is your own. In school, that might mean learning how to balance academic pressure with self-care. In college, it might mean figuring out how to manage your mental health and personal growth while also planning for your future.
That's such an important point, Adam. Expectations can push you to strive for success, but they can also hold you back if you're only focused on external validation. Both school and college are about learning how to deal with pressure, whether it's managing time, expectations, or your own mental health, and finding ways to cope when it gets overwhelming.
Right. And the key is learning how to set realistic expectations for yourself. Understanding that it's okay not to be perfect, to make mistakes, and to ask for help when you need it. Both school and college teach you how to deal with pressure, but in college, you have more freedom to choose how you handle it. It's a great opportunity to grow and develop the resilience you need for life beyond graduation.
Absolutely. The pressure will always be there, but how you respond to it is what really matters. College gives you the space to figure out how to manage it in a way that works for you, and that's something that will serve you well in the future, no matter what path you take.
Well said, Sophia. As we wrap up today's episode, it's clear that the expectations and pressure we face in both school and college are challenging, but they're also part of the growth process. The key is to navigate them in a way that allows you to stay focused on your personal journey and well-being.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us today as we discussed the pressures and expectations of school and college life. We hope this conversation helps you better understand how to manage those pressures and stay true to yourself.
Until next time, take care of yourselves, and remember, it's okay to not have it all figured out. Thank you.